head. So I'm going to be curious, as Vipa is a spy main, but is he going to be a little bit more of a flex role, as he has kind of switched off to playing more of the soldier class, but now they got to kind of update this. It makes sense. I can kind of see why Cat Noises chose the reserve shooter as a save, because DK tends to be very static in their class setup. You know, they tend to run heavy, they tend to run spy, that's it. That's when they run their flex classes, that's the two that they're running. And so, you know, with Cat Noises being a little bit more flexible, I'm curious to see if DK is going to respond by running a Pyro as well, if, you know, we see Cat Noises having any sort of success.
Yeah, I think that's always going to be a key to this, is being willing to switch off the classes when you need to. You know, you're going to have certain classes just hampered because of the saves and bans. So why not just play to your strengths, whatever weapons that you feel you can use to then elevate your gameplay and kind of match what the enemy team is doing off of that. So one other interesting save I see here as well is Cat Noise is saving the Machina. Interesting, you know, often we see it come through as a ban. So the fact that it's saved, and we've got two very strong snipers on either side, Andrew for Cat Noises, and likely we'll see Boar coming through for DK unless something has changed, both of whom are at the top of their game. So with the Machina being unbanned, especially on a map like Product, medics beware.
Yeah, this is going to be a very tense one. We saw Andrew go off in the week against Froyotech, where Cat Noises actually went 3-4. They were so close to taking out Froyotech. They actually controlled the point, but it was a spy going up against them. Cat Noises has seemed to struggle against spy classes tonight during the season, and we'll see if that trend continues tonight. As you can see, DK did save the big earner as well as the ambassador, so I gotta imagine going to be running very close to a full-time spy to be able to harass. And that's the one big thing that we saw is, like, you know, for instance, like Froyotech does not run a spy like at all, pretty much, and Corsa tends to just do terribly when that happens, because Corsa is just getting focused down by the enemy spy, but the enemy team, like, you know, Corsa gets focused down by the enemy spy, but the other sniper, he never gets focused down. So usually the enemy sniper always outsnipes Corsa, and I'm kind of wondering if we're going to see Cat Noises responding consistently doing a spy pay Percy during the against the Froyotech matchup. We saw him running a lot of the spy class, but I think that's something that I'm going to find really interesting with the reserve shooter being saved. Are we going to see a Pyro run on these more flex roles, or are we going to see a spy? Because a spy can have a lot of power in this game. But who are the kind of the key classes? We can kind of switch a little bit to include the players. Who are the key classes on the rosters? As I know we're about to go live here, why don't we talk just our quick rundown on who is on the Cat Noises roster?
Yeah, so for Cat Noises, we're going to have Slimnish, Daffodil, Percy, Campy, Spamfest, Cookie Jake, and Andrew. So, you know, keep in mind that these guys can off-class and change around as they see fit, but we'll likely see most of how they're set right now, with Slimnish on Scout, Daffodil on Soldier. Percy is going to be more the flex role, currently on Pyro. Campy probably going to stay on Demo for most of it. Cookie Jake on Medic, and Andrew on Sniper. So they're going to be switching around a bit, but probably stick close to home in terms of what we're seeing there.
And over on the DK side, we have Vipa, who's currently on the spy class. Expect to see him doing a lot of that. Skis on the medicinal man. Boar going to the sniper. It's going to be a great matchup between these two snipers. Carl on the heavy class. He rarely switches off of that. Jared on demo. Marmalou on soldier, and Shamu on scout. I doubt we're going to see a lot of switch ups from those final selections. It's really going to be, I think, Vipa and maybe a little bit of Carl, but that's the biggest problem that DK has had this season, is that they do not switch up enough on their classes. They tend to get really stuck, and if something's not working, they need to switch off of it. That's the biggest thing, is when it comes to Prolander, as we get the countdown, as we are going to be going live here for the very first round. This is going to be a best of 3, but it's going to be played in halves. The first team to win 2 rounds is going to take it to the half as we come out to this first mid fight of this RGL.GG playoffs. And VoxDei, I will let you get this initial call.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at Jarrett here on the rollout, see what he's got cooking. So he's moving up, it looks like main side, and he's going to spam some stickies over the top, but Andrew opened things up with a shot onto Marmalade. No soldier now for the DK roster. Daffodil jumping in on the medic, actually manages to get the pick onto Jarrett, so very good pick from right off the bat, but Vipa comes through with vengeance to take down 2. What a scrappy fight, and we're down to a 3v2.
And it really comes down to those flex classes stepping up. The Spy going big right there. Is Campy getting a nice pipe onto Shamu. Carl's down incredibly low, but opting not to peek this Campy is due to Boar in his intense sightline, as DK will come down with this point thanks to the clutch plays coming out of Vipa. And we can see right now we are still seeing a pyro being run by Percy. We'll see how they want to aggress back onto the point. The respawns are going to be a little bit faster, about 2 times faster. As we see Daffodil, beautiful bomb in. He doesn't get a rocket onto Skis, but Carl does pick him up. He's going to drop down, jump back up, as that's going to create a little bit of distraction. As Shamu does a great job two-shotting him and shutting that down. As Vipa is getting himself into position on Cliff, might be able to make a play onto Cookie Jake right now. If he wants to, and he's going to just play it safe, and he's going to get actually a stab on the Spamfest. No, he's going to get called out there, going to get taken down thanks to that Pyro, and with 2 picks, that should open up for Cat Noises to push forward.
Yeah, they don't have, no Ubers to worry about, so they're just going to try to bully them off of the point, work those picks. Shamu going down incredibly low again, but Cookie Jake takes a body shot, so he can't do much from this position right now. Gotta wait for a sandwich or to regen, and that's exactly what he'll do. But now the Uber comes out from the DK side, leading the charge of Shamu, but the counter comes back from Cat Noises. And Slemish is going to take down Jarrett and then Shamu to boot. So they're going to come down with the point, getting on Carl. They should be able to take him out, but he's getting... Oh, no, there he goes. So very good retake. Good job waiting on the Uber, cleaning up those picks, taking the point. Now they can sit back pretty.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good. It was a nice job there coming out to Cookie Jake to milk the Uber charge, not pop it right away, and then re-push in. But you can see they're playing so passive. Cat Noises... that's allowing Jarrett to just push forward on the demo class, doing a good job, putting out some sticky spam, trying to create some space for his team. Right now, though, Skis is playing very safe. He's worried about Andrew getting that peak, and right now, the frags are coming out. Jarrett and Carl going down, no heavy, no demo man, as actually Shamu's getting a lot of cap time, as Daffodil's going to pop in, take down the sniper, and now Skis is left alone. And it was a cute little kind of aggression coming out of DK there, but just losing your core classes is just not going to be able to allow that to go down. As Vipa did get spotted there, but he's getting himself back into position. Both teams at 100%, so we should see an exchange coming up very shortly.
Yeah, and looks like Vipa's going to take down Andrew right away. Good pick, so now there's no fear for DK to get in. They forced the Uber out of Cookie Jake early, and now they can just forward to flash around their players, make sure no one dies, and they're capping up point during it. Cookie Jake's going to go down to a body shot by Boar, as Percy and Slemnish get taken out as well. So they're going to cap up on this point, and time's going to be about even for them, and now they're going to sit on an Uber advantage as well, since Cookie Jake went down and Skis is still alive.
Now, welcome out all of our new viewers, guys. This is Pick Ban Prolander. It's a 7v7 format, 1 of each class. Currently, we're on a pro version of Viaduct. If you're curious about what the bans are, they're dynamic to each map, and you can see them at the bottom of the screen, underneath of the scoreboard, about which team decided to ban which. DK on the red side has heavily favored taking out the engineer class from the blue side of Cat Noises. As we can see, Daffodil bombing in here, trying to get some damage onto the enemy medic, but Skis doesn't take too much damage, as they actually do pick up one more. Percy now off of the Pyro class onto Spy, and that might have been a little bit unexpected, as Boar and Jarrett are down. So here comes out the Uber charges. The medic gets popped up way into the air, but Vipa's going to help out his team, taking down the medic class. Cookie Jake down incredibly low, down to 40 HP. Vipa is trying to get a spot onto him, might see the health and go for a plan, but no, he's going to get caught out there. But still, Cookie Jake is incredibly low. The ball comes out, and he's going to get taken down right there, as the medic's going to be able to hold onto this. Vipa picks up one more, and they are just crumbling right now. Cat Noises, and they are going to get just cleaned up here, as DK, they did come down with the point, but DK should easily be able to re-push this.
Yeah, I mean, it's important that they did grab the point despite the numbers disadvantage. It delays things for the DK side. Yes, it delays the respawns a bit, but right now they need some time on the point because they know DK is going to be capping it right back up. So they're going to delay things for a bit, wait for their medic to maybe build that Uber. Should be enough time, but if they do wait for Uber, they're not going to have much left afterwards, as Percy gets taken out by Shamu. So all eyes are on Cat Noises to figure out what they want to do. They need to get a pick, and they need to get it soon. Daffodil is going to try to make some fate happen, and does take down Marmalou over on Concrete side. So that might be their opening right now as they start to move some players forward.
You can see Marmalou is, or the Soldier and Scout are getting aggressive, and the Scout's getting a lot of cap time right now, but he gets taken out, actually, from Jarrett as well as Carl, but Daffodil taking on the snipers. That's allowing them to push across the point. And here we go, now into overtime as the Spies picking up a play, and they are just getting cleaned up. Vipa getting another stab once again. Campy going down. There's still some cap time, but They don't have a chance. Cat Noises on the map, they chose losing the first round to DK, and DK looking very decisive right there.
Yeah, it started off pretty close between the two, but then as the time went on, you could see that DK felt a lot more comfortable holding the point than Cat Noises did, so it turned much more into a lopsided affair. But we're coming down to our second mid right now. Jarrett puts the early sticky down. No aggression from the DK side, just waiting for Vipa maybe to call things out or get into a position for a play. Shamu's going to get taken out by Andrew, and now jumping over into connector side is Marmalou, but he's going to get taken out as well. So now with Andrew Percy down, this is gonna be a 5v4 in the favor of Cat Noises. How are they gonna do this? Lemnish takes out Jarrett from behind. Daffodil goes down. Carl traded out as well. Boar is still trying to make something happen, and he does, taking out Campy, but Skis goes down to Slemnish in the backfield. That's gonna be a huge Uber ad for Cat Noises on that mid.
And that happened because DK had all the 4 players they had left alive within a very close range of each other. We saw Daffodil jumping from the concrete and just put out damage, and he didn't even have to really be accurate, just putting damage anywhere, and he's going to be able to open it up. And Andrew gets the opening here is for DK. Look at this bomb coming in, and Viper with a huge stab. +2 into chat there, as there is going to be a drop coming out of Cookie Jake. Beautiful coordination coming out, but in response, Daffodil bombing straight back into the enemy medic. No reason not to, and he's going to get Skis down. And so the Uber advantage is going to be even here, as both medics are about to come up. Daffodil's going to pick up one more. Red team of DK still does not have the point. And beautiful coordination and intelligence coming out of both teams, as Cat Noises is going to have a chance to retake this despite losing their medic early in that fight.
And I really just want to say I love that play. Soldier bombing in while the spy comes in from behind. You can't do anything. You can't look 2 places at once. So just beautifully executed by DK, and they're going to take the point off of it. So what are they going to do while they hold it? Well, right now they're kind of just feeding some damage over to the Cat Noises side, but Daffodil and Slemnish are going to take it out. Boar now on a 5k as he takes out Campy, so that's really going to cause problems. And now Cat Noise is on the back foot as they try to figure out what they can do to get in on this point.
Yeah, at least the thing they have in their favor right now is that they are even in Uber Charge. You can see that as they're both taking up both medics on Medigun, and usually Uber Charges are what you're going to use to try to gain ground for your team. Percy gets taken out here early on. That Pyroclast, I just really don't know if it's doing enough for them, especially when they're playing from behind. I think they need to get that second pick class on the spy to be able to help them out, as they are now both at 100%. Vipa is currently down, so they do at least have one pick, though it is currently only on a spy. You can see right now as Andrew does pick up one frag onto Marmalou, and they're going to try to walk this in here, but they have to be careful. Can't be walking alone. He might get disconnected from his medic, but gets reconnected just in time to keep himself alive. The Uber is going to be a little bit better for the red side as it's just coming back down. Now they just need to re-aggress. Daffodil is behind the enemy team, does take down Boar, is going to get some spam down on his skis, going down to half HP, and here comes the blue side trying to push in. Vipa does get spotted from behind, and that's going to distract them as they're going to try to continue to aggress forward. Slemnish goes down, and now it's Spamfest on the heavy class to try to defend it for his team, but Marmalou on the flank coming from concrete, and they're going to take down Spamfest right there, and the blue team still has yet to capture this point. They're trying to aggress. DK using this positioning in their favor, pushing across the point as they continue to hold on here. And great job out of DK, bending but not breaking as the time continues to tick in their favor.
Something to a really lovely play out of the Cat Noises side despite all of that was Cookie Jake was down to 8 HP, and Percy came through to reflect a rocket to push back Marmalou and managed to keep their medic alive, which is huge right now. Daffodil's going to go in for a bomb, but he's not going to get anything off this. Cat Noises want to take the point, but now they've lost 2 players, and now there's an Uber coming in from the DK side. Got to be careful. Cookie Jake on 99 as Jarrett finds the sticky to take him out. That is going to be gut-wrenching for them right now as DK cap up on this point.
You just gotta be careful when you know you're at an Uber disadvantage, when you know the enemy medic has an Uber charge greater than yours. If you play aggressive, they can pop that Uber, be invulnerable, and push straight into you. And so you can see a little bit of a death ball. Everybody running up here on the cliffside. They're going to try to aggress across the point. Only 35 seconds left for DK to take this first half. Jarrett eating a lot of damage, but Daffodil gets focused down. Nice job there by the defending team, and we'll see what they want to do. Percy coming in onto this left-hand side, but Vipa has now switched off onto the engineer class, adding more defensive, and I think that's catching Cat Noises off guard. I don't think they realized that that gun was up, and they ate too much damage. 16 seconds left on the clock as Campy's trying to get some spam down to help out his team. Carl's a little bit overextended as Slemnish takes, I mean, that's Shamu, I'm sorry, taking down Andrew on the cliff. Here comes out the Uber charge from the defensive side, and DK is just strolling to victory right now as Percy alone on the point, but I don't think it'll be enough. Here comes the rebounds in, but no! They didn't get cap time on that? How?
It was close. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there was a fraction of a pixel where someone wasn't on. They were just above the point or something like that before the timer ran out. It was really close. I mean, it's hard to think they would have. They maybe would have grabbed that, but you know, anything can change in a second in this game.
Yeah, we can switch up to the logs here real quick, as I'm sure they're going to go live here early on. And you can see Slemnish working in his favor for his team. Cat Noise is top fragging and tied with Boar, currently at 13 frags. But remarkably, these frags are pretty even across the board. The big one that's stepping out is Percy on the Pyro and Spy. Only has 1 frag for his team, despite having the most deaths inside of the server. So I think for this next half, it's going to be game point for DK. If they win one more round, they're going to win this map again, which was chosen by Cat Noises, and they might do a clean sweep here. So we'll see what they want to do, but Percy really needs to set up. What are the stat lines you're seeing out of this first set of logs?
Yeah, the big thing for me is Vipa snagging 12 frags. You know, it's not something that's commonplace to have your spy just do so much work. I mean, obviously, it's always possible with a pick class, but nearly top fragging, huge amounts of damage as well. And it just goes to show, like, they weren't paying attention to them. They weren't devoting enough resources. But when you only have 7 players, you got to make sure that you divvy up those resources as necessary. Maybe, I know Percy was struggling on Pyro. You know, you've got the reserve shooter. You save that, but you can't get locked into the idea that, oh, I have to play this class now. But they're going to have to counter Vipa going into this next one. I'll let you take it away.
And we're going to come into this as match point for DK. We'll see what they can do. Cat Noises needs to win 2 rounds straight to put it into an overtime round if they're going to have a chance here. And early on, we can see Shamu is currently using the Sandman, which was not banned. And Vipa is getting himself into position. He did the same thing last time, and he's going to repeat and have complete success again. Vipa, you're not crazy if you do it over and over again. If it just keeps working, they need to turn around, and Cookie Jake is the first one to go down, but Skis is still alive, but a lot of frags going in the favor of Cat Noises, despite losing their medic. It doesn't matter. I guess they kept everybody else alive, and they did a great job pushing across the point, but they are going to be at a significant Uber disadvantage. So I can't imagine Cat Noises is going to hold on to this point for longer than maybe 20 to 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think your best bet here is to make sure your Pyro is buffed up. Keep everyone back and passive so you can kite. You know you're at a huge disadvantage as Boar is going to take down Slemnish. That's not a good start here for Cat Noises. But you really want Spamfest to do as much as possible denying this Uber. Andrew's going to get taken out by Vipa. But now good job forcing the Uber was Daffodil. Gotta hope Cookie Jake is in a position to back out. He is all the way back by Cliff and going to rotate to spawn. So they hold the point for just about as long as you said, 40 seconds. And they'll have to figure out how they want to repush this as the aggression from DK doesn't stop. Spamfest goes down, and they're just on this cliff taking as much ground as they can.
Yeah, Shamu's trying to push forward as well. He gets taken out. Jarrett going down. But here's the thing, is this aggression was misguided. As great as it was to get the picks, that they stayed in there, the respawns are already up for the blue team. And look it, they're still down for 6 more seconds. Now Skis is completely alone. He's going to eat 2 rockets, get pushed into the wall. Daffodil wants to run all the way back to the spawn, but somehow Skis is going to get away with his life in 40% Uber charge. But again, like, DK did a beautiful thing. They got 2-3 picks, but then, like, let's get more. But you have to remember, when you control the point, you have such long respawns, it's often not worth it to get a 1-for-1 trade of your class. And so now they're going to have the Uber charge. They're going to have the advantage. And this is looking pretty good for them as Vipa's going to get caught out there. And Marmalou and Jared jumping in here gets a beautiful force off. Great job out of DK, using the Spy as a distraction to then have their jump classes go in and to get that frag, as they're going to pick up everybody inside of DK is going to die, but it doesn't matter. They're already respawning, and now they have 100% Uber to re-push back onto this point.
Yeah, we see very aggressive positions now for Cat Noises. They want early calls on where this medic's going out. They actually go out main, which is the perfect place that they wanted to push from. Uber is being used. Vipa's going to take down Cookie Jake, so that's a good pick to start. Percy's going down. Lemnish really low, and he's going to get taken out as well. DK have all the advantage right now. The rest of Cat Noises backing off, besides Daffodil is kind of caught in at the moment. Oh, nice shot by Andrews. He takes down Jarrett to deny the point a bit longer. Campy takes out Shamu. I think this should finally go in DK's favor. I hate to maybe curse them, but...
I mean, it'd be hard-pressed not to. And during that whole exchange, Cookie Jake actually got backstabbed by Vipa, so that is allowing Skis to leapfrog back into having that Uber advantage once again as they control the point, but do not have the time in their favor currently, down by about a minute, but it's going to be curious to see how Cat Noises wants to play this. They've been pretty passive in their retakes, not doing a lot of bomb plays, and again, they don't have, they have Spamfest, and here comes actually Daffodil going in for the bomb, and he gets it, 2 rockets perfectly underneath. I've seen him do it a couple times, and he's messed it up the other ones, but here we go, Marmaloo in response, trying to take down Cookie Chick. He's going to go down for his troubles, and only 3 players left alive for DK, and the solo bomb is going to be enough here today, as that is a clean wipe going in the favor of Cat Noises as they recapture the point and continue to add to their lead.
Yeah, this is exactly what they need. I mean, they need to come back at this point. There's no margin of error that's acceptable. So 45 seconds is all they need to bring themselves into the next round, keep themselves alive here on this map. So they have the Uber advantage, and they're just going to be kind of sitting pretty. But here comes the double bomb, and they're going to force Cookie Jake right off of that. Skis is going to be so far out. Nice shot by Boar as well for the jumping Campy. But now back in an Uber advantage will be DK. They're going to wait for their respawns. And they've been successful for their pushes so far. But Cat Noises need to really step up here.
And DK currently has Vipa behind the enemy team. He's been doing so much work for his team. We'll see if he can do it. One more. Cookie Jake spots him out just in time. And DK is losing a couple key classes right there as Jarrett goes down. Marmaloo's going to come in, but Slemnish currently on top of Skis. And they didn't even get anybody on top of the point. A very solid win after an abysmal first 2 rounds as Cat Noises now takes it 1-2. And we'll see if they can take it into an overtime round.
Yeah, and we'll see what's going on in this mid. I'm going to take a look at Campy. I want to see him really step up here for his team. I know he's capable of it. Jumping in over the top already is Marmaloo, seeing if he can get anything done. But he's going to get taken out early. Shamu down as well, so the flank for DK is out of the picture. Campy's going to get traded. They actually found Vipa on this mid, which is great, but Daffodil comes in, a delayed bomb, and takes out Skis. Keep your players alive, and this is easily yours, but Vipa was behind, and he guns down Cookie Jake, separated from the rest of his team.
And he's going to pick up one more, taking down the sniper as well, and then using the Icicle to get away from Spamfest. I mean, they're kind of running the Pyro to counter him, and so then Vipa then is running the Icicle to counter Spamfest on top of it. I love this back and forth item play to kind of go to jostle to get positioning. And right now we can see the red team already getting positioning, despite that mid-fight being one in the favor of Cat Noises. They only got 15 seconds off the clock for their struggles. So see how they want to do this. Currently they are down 1. And they've been pushing a lot from the Valley side, but Daffodil and Slemnish, if they control the concrete, that's where they've been really doing a lot of work. And Daffodil has been, it's like that last bomb came in from Daffodil from the concrete side, so we'll see how they want to do this, but DK has a very good setup right now. Carl on top of the rock, Marmaloo shutting down that side, and Spamfest getting on top of the point.
Yeah, so just a little bit of cap time for Cat Noises. They really want this, but DK denying him. Shamu with the 1. Board's going to take out Percy. Cookie Jake's got to be careful because this is exactly where it's fallen apart for him so often. This aggression from DK, and with Andrew going down, they're just going to back up. They're about to have that Uber, but they are going to be pushing into an Uber of DK's own. And why is Boar allowed to do this? Just non-stop. Pick after pick, he steps up for his team.
And the great thing about having a spy for your team is you can call exactly where the enemy team is. You notice how nobody is looking anywhere but Cliff right now because that's exactly where they know they're coming from. And here comes in the double bomb, gets the force off onto Skis, and you can see the entire team of Cat Noises is pretty much backing up. Andrew's holding forward. He's trying to go for a miracle pick, but I don't know what kind of miracle he was hoping for because he was not going to turn water into wine there as Boar picks up one more. taking down Slemnish, but with the fast respawns, they should be able to repush this with 100%. But again, every second that they're waiting is a second more going in the favor of DK, and if DK wins this again, they're going to win this map, as it is match point currently in their favor. 100% ready to go, and it looks like they want to come out the Valley side.
Yeah, they're going through and they're pushing right into this. They know they don't have an Uber to worry about. Slemnish is going to take out Skis right off the bat, so good focus from him. They now have Carl to deal with on the cliff. He should get taken out. Shamu re-aggressing, and a few members of DK are going to push right in onto the point. They got to worry about Viper behind as well. DK is splitting their attention all over the place. Oh, no.
My favorite part about that Viper stab is Cookie Jake has learned. He goes, okay, when I see a bomb coming in from the soldier in demo, I don't actually need to look at them. I need to look behind me, because that's when Viper's making the play. Cookie Jake turns around, sees Viper coming at him. Viper then runs back away, and then as Cookie Jake looks back around, Viper re-aggresses and gets the backstab onto Cookie Jake. And once again, what should have been a very easy hold for Cat Noises, and also an advantage in their favor, is now working against them. And with a minute time disparity, I don't know what they can do. Viper is currently on top of the medic as well, and only has the heavy to be able to help him, and he gets taken out. Now Cookie Jake completely low. Andrew gets disconnected from everybody else, goes down, and the point's going to go back in the favor of DK. And so we'll see how they want to do this, but Boar with the huge headshot taking down Campy. No Demo Man for another 7 seconds here.
I just feel like Cat Noises really have the talent to do this, but DK is just outplaying them, out-coordinating them. As, I mean, of course, when Boar's just going off nonstop, takes another one out with Daffodil, just turning this game into a 6v7 as much as possible. Andrew's going to be peeking from China, nothing to be found there, but they know this is do or die time. They got to start pushing the point. They're sitting at an uber disadvantage. Boar takes out Andrew, no sniper to worry about as DK gets onto the point, uses Uber. They need to get in on Cookie Jake. He's at 95%. He goes down. A few members left for Cat Noises that they want to try to push in, but now there is a level 2 gun sitting in the connector area. This might be a too tall an order.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what you want to see out of your flex classes on Spy, then on Engineer. Whatever you need to do to help your game be won. Get that level 3 sentry gun up, and that's going to be it. DK is going to take the first map away from Cat Noises.
And in convincing fashion, no less. Like, that was a well-played game by DK. Very little in terms of mistakes that you can try to point out. Like, oh yeah, they didn't have to be as aggressive here. Like, little minor things. But overall, Cat Noises just seemed to be stymied by everything that DK tried to do.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at it, it's a Slemnish again, top fragging for his team. But, I mean, the biggest difference I saw out of Cat Noises from DK was when DK got set up on product, there wasn't pushing into him. Once they got set up on the point, like, you couldn't push into DK. You couldn't do anything. I mean, just really nice job. And then with the help of Viper, that Spy class, again, I think Spy was the correct point. I mean, if you look at this right now, Spamfest with 2 frags for his team. I mean, I don't know how much work he was actually doing, but it's like, okay, if your Spy is still running rampant, I mean, Vipa still got 10 frags. He was in the top 4 in terms of frags for the game. Just run a Spy. Like, run a Spy to try to counter their Spy. Do something differently, you know, because that's the biggest thing when it comes to this format is do not get stuck on something. And I was complaining that DK does that, but we saw that with Cat Noises. They got too stuck inside of their classes, and I think that worked against them ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, it really goes to show too, the fact that they save reserve shooter. I think there could be a mentality too. It's like, you know, we've saved this weapon. We really want pyro to be a thing. We really want to frustrate them. Reserve shooter. Oh, I hate that weapon, right? But you're not getting anything off the ground, so you got to throw away your original game plan and just go to plan B, because clearly whatever they had wasn't working. So I don't know. It's a bit of a struggle. They got to figure out. They got to on a map like Upward. They really, really need to be more willing to switch things up when they're not going their way.
Well, and that's just it. Is we're also coming into Upward now, and this is DK's map pick. So DK is also not only they're going to get the advantage this map now, where they get to choose what side they want to play on for the first and, if needed, a third round. But these teams met on Upward in the second week of the season, and DK came out on top. Like, they looked really good, you know, coming out 2-1. And with the roster that we saw coming out of DK, I mean, I really am hard pressed to see if Cat Noise is going to be able to adjust with it. Now, on this map in particular, again, let's actually switch over to the pick bands of this map as these teams are getting readied up. And you can see here, as it's, yep, there we go, is that DK went with, it's going to be, these got switched up again. So Cat Noises is on top, taking out the Deadringer right away, trying to take down Vipa, as well as a Fist of Steel. And yeah, I mean, it's just a lot. And you can see DK, again, going heavy against the Engineer, really worried about Spamfest.
Yeah, I mean, with Cat Noise's bans that they have here, they seem very similar to their product bans. So they get rid of the Deadringer, they get rid of the Girardi, they save the Machina, the reserve shooter, and this actually worries me. I mean, they saved the reserve shooter last time, and then they wouldn't switch off Pyro. They can't go into this map with the same game plan. The big one for them is the Fist of Steel. Anyone who's familiar with how Payload is played, towards the end, when you have those final seconds or just need to get a clutch cap, you'll often throw your heavy on there with Fist of Steel because of that damage reduction. So getting rid of that, especially Carl on heavy, is a pretty big play from them. But as you mentioned, with the bans to try to stop Spamfest from doing what he does best, and that's just play Engineer like no one else, it's pretty crazy. I mean, we see faster times already in the pick ban Prolander game mode. So without the Wrangler and the Rescue Ranger, these could be blazingly fast times.
Yeah, we'll see how ultimately it's going to work out. And with the Engineer being taken away, I mean, it's going to make it a little bit harder because, as you said, one of the typical strategies for when you're pushing the final point on offense is to get a Fist of Steel heavy buffed up to 450, get on top of the cart, and start to do work. Again, we can see the Machina is being saved for Andrew, but I mean, as much as that's being saved for Andrew, that's being saved for Boar. Like, between the two snipers, Boar was the one doing work that last game. Obviously, Andrew didn't have a terrible game, but it just it never seemed like he was going to be settled. But when it comes to this map, the sightlines are very long, and it's a little bit harder to be, it's a little bit harder to be harassed from in this map compared to the until the other map. So yeah, this is looking pretty good. I'm looking forward to seeing this. But I mean, guess what would you be looking for out of Cat Noises to be switching up here? Is they're gonna be starting out on offense? What do you think they need to do differently to win this map?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a Pyro, but they need someone to pay a little bit more attention to the spy. So I have a feeling Vipa is going to stick with it. He's been very successful. Andrew is a sniper that's actually prone to having issues with spy checking as well. So I don't see a reason DK need to switch off right away. So it's going to be in Cat Noise's court to figure out, well, we just got demolished on product by him. So what are we going to do to stop him from going off? I mean, yeah, Boar's his own issue, but that can usually be mitigated by buffs at the right time, peeking at opportune moments, getting calls on where he is, making your sniper's job easier. But taking care of a spy, that's a collective team effort where people really need to be picking up and kind of have that spidey sense.
So it'll be interesting to see what kind of class changes we'll see from both sides as we are live in real time. So we'll get caught up here shortly. And coming into this prediction phase, VoxDei, what are you going to say? Who's going to come away with this map? Do you think DK is going to win it 2-0 and take away, despite coming in from the third place, despite not winning their map against them? Do you think that they're going to win this map as well? Or do you think that going to be seeing Cat Noises win this and putting us to the final map of Badwater, doing a live pick ban for that?
Yeah, initially I had Cat Noises winning their map pick and DK taking this as a 2-1. I'm going to stick with that, and I think DK will probably take this in 3.
We'll find out what is going to be true as we're getting set up here for the very first round of PL Upward. Again, this is DK's pick in this best of 3 series, guys. This is the first season of RGL.GG. This is Recharge Gaming League. The format that you're seeing right now is Pick, Ban, Prolander. It's a 7v7 format with a lot of class switching. A lot of item bans are not static, but they're actually done prior to each game, making each game a little bit more different, and you have to really be conscious about the classes you're selecting in any given moment. And we can see that's already been happening the last game where we saw one team running a full-time Pyro, the other team running a full-time Spy, but still making some switch-ups. But we'll see how they want to do this. Currently, right now, you can see the offense is now running a Spy on Spamfest. And so you can see pretty much the same lineups. No Engineer for the defense, and no Engineer for the offense, and no Pyros for either team. But this is the big thing, is DK has ran no Engineer on defense, and it has worked against them. And I actually am going to be curious if it works against them, because the thing is, it's not so much the sentry gun as much as not having a teleporter to get to the front line. It's like a 10-second walk. But we'll see what's going to happen as the gates are opening up. Cat Noise is walking out on the blue side, DK on red. This is the map point. If DK comes down with this map, they're going to win it and go into the grand finals against Freyotech, as we're seeing an early snipe coming in from Boar.
Yeah, my eyes are on Andrew right now. It's very important to get that early SVS, take down the defensive sniper, because it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. Vipa sees Andrew, but Andrew does hear the decloak, so he's going to back off. No pick for him just yet, but we're still going to see Boar is going to be a little bit more of a passive position now, as Cat Noises just kind of slowly charge their way. Boar already taking out Daffodil again. Behind is a Spy that's going to be Spamfest for Cat Noises. Goes in for the swing, doesn't get anything done off of that. But Vipe is actually going to come in, take out Campy, and say, okay, see you guys later. I'll come back later for another pick.
Yeah, the big thing here is Cat Noise is taking a long time, and Cookie Check is, oh my god, Vipa's right there behind him, but somehow Vipa fail stabs twice and then gets the force off onto Cookie Jake. I'm not exactly sure why, but Skates did get forced off as well, going down to 60 HP. And so now the offensive team just needs to push aggressively, just needs to get trades. Any trade right now, any death on the red side is going to create an advantage for Cat Noises, even if both sides die at the same time, because the respawns are faster and closer for the offensive side. But Boar picking up one more, currently on a 4K, taking down Daffodil, as DK continue to hold on here, and Cat Noises just seems a little too scared to do anything. But now Boar finally goes down, and that should open it up, as they don't have to worry about their head being taken off.
Yeah, I mean, this is already taking a little too long for the first point than you'd hope for. Vipa goes in for the stab, not able to connect there. Nice banner being used, and now we see the aggression out of DK, trying to see what they can grab with Campy being down, so that area denial. Boar is on his way back now from the respawn room, so we'll probably see him stay up by the cliff and see what kind of picks he can work. But still, Cat Noise is taking this very slowly. Ski's going to be back at, Cookie Jake back at 100%. So they're going to be wanting to push in very soon, and Vipa is lurking behind. I don't know if he's going to get it. No, the Uber is used, and now we got a trade on the cart. Vipa and Boar are taking out a couple, so it's going to be a 5v4 right now. And wow, this is just chaos. Getting onto the cart, but the cart's not moving anywhere. Carl taking out two, Boar taking out Campy. This is just yet another failed push by Cat Noises, and they've got to be scratching their heads.
And you gotta imagine coming out of DK here is like how good they have to be feeling. They really should have lost this point a while ago. The thing that DK's been doing a really good job at, as we can see Daffodil on the Spy class, gets a stab onto Jarrett. So that quick switch up from Soldier onto Spy does open up, as they don't have to worry about it. And he's gonna go around for more. Is that DK has been doing a really good job of extending, but not overextending. They're getting aggressive as Daffodil picks up one more, taking down Boar. Down goes the Demo, down goes the Sniper, and this should be an easy point to take down, but they just have to make sure Cookie Jake does not go down. Vipa's going to pick up one on the backside. Ski's going down to half HP. Is going to get forced off there, as Cookie Jake is holding onto it, as Marmaloo is trying to jump back in. Might be a little bit misguided as he gets taken down onto a 20-second respawn. But the cart's so far back, I guess it won't matter that much. But the big thing is working this cart forward, but 3 minutes for the first point is just not good.
The good thing for Cat Noises is everything else on that push went optimally. They were able to force the Uber off of Skis. Boar actually goes down yet again, so they're going to be at 100% Uber. I think DK kind of sensed this. They're already playing back into the house towards their spawn, so the cart's still moving just at a snail's pace. That times one, a Slimness jumps on. But I think they have the second point, and now DK are going to work on getting a very nice hold on third.
I mean, that's the best thing that could have happened for Cat Noises right there, is they had such a horrible first point, and they just can get this momentum. This is what Payload is all about when it comes to Prolander, is it's all about getting that aggression. It's all about trying to use the transitions to your favor. Now, the only downside right now is the cart's so far back that it's going to take them a little bit longer to get it forward, so they can't use this Uber advantage they have right now. Because if you push ahead of your cart, that means you have to maintain ground, and you have to maintain ground away from your spawn, and it tends to be a very hard thing to do. As Boar with the collateral taking down Andrew, Spanfest working on the cart. He's now switched to Engineer. Daffodil is still on the Spy class, but seem to be doing work, but both teams up to 100%. The biggest thing right now is I think you want to see Cat Noises get that cart to the base of the ramp, of the first point, that backwards ramp, and then when you push in with Uber, push the cart up at the same time. And we can see Daffodil, the Spy, is now getting himself into position. We'll see how Cat Noises wants to progress on this, as they both have 7 players.
Vipa is going in too. He's going to take down Andrew before getting traded, so that's going to afford some room for Boar if he wants to get in and take aggressive peeks. Now Daffodil is going in. He gets spotted out, but still manages the backstab on a Boar. Good job for him there. And now they want to force the issue. Cat Noises, that is. They use the Uber a little early. No pressure just yet for DK. They finally use very late. They should be able to mulch the Cat Noises side. Cookie Jake goes down. Slemnish, Campy, Daffodil. Just add another name to the list as Cat Noises flub that push.
And like, this is the difference between Six's players understanding how to play a payload map and like how to push when it comes to payload offense, because this is not Koth. This is not 5CP. There's an objective in this game mode that you have to focus. They had their soldier and scout on the cart. They brought him into an Uber charge, which was worse than the enemy team. So they weren't going to pick up more frags because DK had a better Uber. It was going to last longer. They dropped off the cart when it was midway up the hill, and now it's already rolling backwards. They could have got it up that first ramp, maybe even to the second one. And the first ramp is literally the hardest ramp to get this thing up. So now they're going to start to work it up again, but it's just going to make themselves that much harder. Like, unless you get a really great Uber push, you need to make plays happen or something, but that's exactly what they're doing right now. As overextension coming out from DK, they lose 3 core classes. No sniper right now, but again, Slemnish jumping off the cart. But finally, Cat Noises will be able to do this in an off-Uber push, picking up the frags they needed.
I don't want to speak too soon, though, because Vipa is going to jump onto the cart, and there's 100% Uber in the hands of DK. So if they really wanted to, they could contest this. I don't know. It's an interesting call that you could make, but they probably don't know the ad that Skis currently has over Cookie Jade. But it doesn't matter, because Vipa's going to get that stab. A couple more for Cat Noises are going to go down. So now here's the re-aggression that Uber was used closer back into the spiral staircase, and they just wipe him off the point.
And this is what I'm talking about, is that Andrew, look at Andrew right now. He's right in front of Skis. He's going to go for the headshot. Not going to be able to get it. But the cart was so far back when they held that forward ground. And remember how I talked about how if you push ahead of your cart, it makes it much harder because you have to sustain that ground. You can't have misplays. If they did not jump off that cart, they got up the first ramp, this third point would have been already captured. That's what these little choices that they make is now going to cost them another 60 seconds off the cart, as Slemnish is now falling into the pit. Vipa at least gets found out there, as the cart's going to start to roll back down the second hill, once again just making it that much harder to get this point. Spamfest is going to touch it at least for a second, but DK's playing very passively here. Cat Noises might want to work off of it. They're scared of Boar in his sight line. We'll see if Andrew can walk into it, maybe try to get a snipe off onto him. But both teams up to 100%. They're starting to get capture time and starting to punish DK for their passiveness.
Yeah, they're pushing up into that sea house right now. It looks like Percy wants to push them in there. Uber is going to be used on the cart path, though. And it's just a demo and a soldier being Ubered. The banner is going to come through from Marmaloo. He's going to take out Percy and just kind of live in a nice health because of that Conqueror. But Cookie Jake is going to get taken out by Carl. Marmaloo now on a 6K as he picks up another. And that's another one. Put it on the list.
Put it on the list. Once again, Slemnish got taken out there at the very edge of the cart path while it was being pushed up. He almost got it up that second hill, but a huge snipe coming out from Boar. As he's now going to actually get taken out. Nice job by Slemnish being a little bit sneaky there, and this is going to cause the aggression of Cat Noises. They see this pick go off. They're going to try to work off it. They do lose their scout in the process. As Daffodil off of Spy, now onto the Pyro class to try to help out his team, maybe help out the cart. He's actually going to go for a flank play, and he's going to get on top of the medic, trying to use a reserve shooter, put Skis down to half HP, but not able to finish him off. And Skis wasn't at 100%. Might have been able to get a force off onto the enemy medic if he got it. Now Andrew completely alone on the cart, and he's going to actually get whipped down with the help of Viper using that Ambassador, as now Slemnish completely alone, and Cat Noises is just struggling to get these pushes together. This is a difficult point to push if you don't put presence on the objective at the same time as you try to put presence on the other team. But we'll see if they can do it right now, as they do at least pick up one frag. No Spy to be able to call anything for the defensive team. and a lot of aggression coming out of Cat Noises, and this is what they need.
Yeah, Slemish is going to take out Boar, which is good. They've got the ×3 going on the cart, but Uber being used now by DK. They're forcing him off of the point. Gotta be careful of Cookie Jig getting knocked all around over that cliff, but manages to stay alive. I think Vipa is the only member of DK now near the cart, but they're still not capping. You have everything, and now Percy has the wherewithal to jump on the cart. Now it's just Bamfest, but it's still moving at a ×1. Your time is not good enough to do this.
Yeah, they need every second they can get, and I think they're just so concerned about getting picks that they're starting to forget about objectives. But Daffodil does at least pick up one. They are into this final point and getting so much more. The respawns should be up in time, though, to defend this because the cart is so far back and rolling so closely. Finally, to get ×3 onto it. But they have to be careful. The positioning coming out of the heavy is too low. You can't maintain low ground to sustain this point. You have to take high ground if you're going to do this. They do at least pick up one frag on to the soldier, but the heavy's going to get taken out. Percy is. From the spy when he's trying to eat a sandwich. Daffodil was back at the spawn, causing chaos on that Pyro class, but not enough. And still the Uber advantage in favor of Skis holding into that spawn area. Finally, the cart is in position to be able to do something. The good news is that Cat Noises do technically control the upper area if they want it, but they lose 2 more. And this is now looking good. So DK now holding passively underneath the balcony. Daffodil back onto the spy class. Andrew's going to get taken out here once again. And you can see Campy trying to aggress in this upper area as the enemy team's behind him. He's completely alone. Marmaloo takes him down. And just miscoordination coming out of Cat Noises time and time again.
If they drop down here with Uber, no, never mind. Percy's now going to be alone up here in tiles. They could have had a chance to do some serious damage to DK, but they need those calls to figure out. Daffodil's going to switch right back to Soldier, so no longer on the spy class. They're moving, trying to see if they can weasel their way back into the tiles area and get that high ground. They're going to use Uber up there, but I don't think, yeah, no, Skis is nowhere to be found. On 50 health, he does use, and they should be able to clean up. Campy goes down. Slemnish gets traded out as well, and this is looking good for DK. They have control over the cart, despite Cat Noises having the high ground, so it's kind of that, you know, the 2 brains. You need to be conscious of the objective as well as the frags, and it looks like Cat Noises just thinking a little bit too much about those frags.
Yeah, I think they're just, the biggest thing is they're like, you know, particularly like Percy. Generally, you want to have your heavy maintain high ground. You don't want to have him jump down necessarily. Just spam from up top. He can be so devastating if you can get him up there and he's just completely uncontested. And here comes Daffodil. Gets Skis popped way back, getting forced back into him, but Skis going down to 67 HP, but it's not going to be enough. But the aggression is doing a decent job pushing through here. Skis only at 70% as a lot of aggression coming out onto the card. Can't be disconnected from his medic. Cookie Chick went down to half HP, and Slemnish is alone on this card. Gets easily cleaned up from the respawns coming out of the spawn. And now Jarrett going down in curly low. Daffodil is going to jump down on top of him. Gets a rocket onto him. The Uber does get forced off as Skis was worried about losing Jarrett. And that's going to give the nice advantage back in the favor of Cookie Jake of 60%. But he's getting backstabbed a bunch in these 2 games, so we'll see if Vipa can make a play on him to help out his team. But they have Uber advantage now. They need to work off of it, and they need to make sure that they don't pop to go into upper, but they pop into the enemy team. They got to get frags in this fight, and they need to take it directly into where the enemy line is.
If they can get upper and then drop down, never mind. They just want to use this Uber right up front. Marmaloo's going to go down. Jarrett's going to go down. Got to get that time on the point. Shamu, the only one in upper. He's going to try to deny. Now Carl is going to be on the balcony, getting buffed up, getting healed, and he's going to try to put as much damage forward as possible. And this is working wonders for DK. Oh, Slemnish was so close, but Boar with 2 headshots takes down the cart pusher, takes down the medic. And now Daffodil going for the frag onto Skis. They got to see if they can get rid of Boar. He's going to go up there as well. It's just Campy on the cart. This is just non-stop. They're throwing all their bodies onto the cart, but luckily those respawns on the defensive side will slow things down enough. But nearly 14 minutes, 13:38 to take the point.
Abysmal time. I mean, 3 minutes into that final point, not the worst thing in the world, not the slowest time, but it took them, what, about 7 minutes to take that 3rd point? Really, honestly, Cat Noises, I don't think they're going to have a chance here to win this first round. They're going to need to play exceptionally well. I mean, the one upside is that Cat Noises has been struggling with their coordination, but defense doesn't require as much coordination as offense does when it comes to pushing into the enemy team. Almost 13:37, our chat's pointing out. I like that. They're
Yeah.
one away from being elite, but I don't know if that, I don't know if that would be an elite time.
Yeah.
As I don't know. I mean, we're seeing, so we can see the engineer coming out. Spamfest is playing it. We'll see if that helps out his team. He does have a lot of things taken away from him, though, from the bans, as he doesn't have a short circuit. Let me see if I can pull them up here, guys. If you're curious about what the bans are currently in this game, it's at the bottom of your screen, underneath each team, as we get the countdown coming in here.
One thing that could work in Cat Noise's favor is, I think one of their issues pushing was Slemnish is one of their main damage dealers. So when he's on the cart, he's not putting damage forward, and he kind of has to play that strange duality. If he's on defense, it might afford him extra space to really be the power player that Cat Noises need him to be. Andrew's going to open things up too with a good headshot onto board, but jumping in immediately was Marmalou. Doesn't manage to force off the Uber, which is really good, but now spamming from behind is Vipa. So they've got to worry about him. They've got to worry about Boar, as they have all game. But just trying to figure out how they can hold this.
And Vipa, the spy, is going all the way back to the enemy spawn. He's going to sap the teleporter. He's going to help try to take it down, but actually Slemnish came up just at time, and the teleporter is actually going to be kept alive, so that's just going to help the defensive team try to make a play. Daffodil playing a very aggressive soldier, now down for 20 seconds. I'm not sure if that was a worthwhile play, as it's going to afford the offense to try to push in with a man advantage. And here we go. Ubers are going to be exchanged here pretty shortly. Much better for the right-hand side, as we'll see how they want to push this. But of course, they're playing in a little bit of the lower angle. They're trying to fight their way out, but Jarrett's doing a decent amount of damage, but he ultimately gets taken out. But that's 2 down now, as the soldier is just going to be coming back up right now. Vipa's currently in a very good position, but another goes down. Andrew gets taken out, as Vipa coming in here as well. Cookie Jake's going to try to run for his life if anybody can jump over the top, but they don't have those classes forward to be able to chase down Cookie Jake, take him down, as Boar barely gets a body shot onto him. Cookie just barely escaping with his life there, as Daffodil back up from dying from that, trying to go for that cheeky play. Now he's on the second point behind the enemy team. If he gets called on where Skis is, he might be able to make a play, but we'll see if Cat Noises can try to get a defense here. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to mount one.
Yeah, it looks like Daffodil's going for the cart denial, which isn't a bad play, but they know where he is. Backing off into tunnel now is Skis. They're rotating around. I think they might want to... I'm trying to figure out what their goal is here, if they want to come back through side tunnel, but good job denying it is Campy. Just stick after stick. They're going to have to use very early here, and Cookie Jake gets his just in time. He's going to solo it onto his heavy, putting a lot of damage. Boar's down. Marmalou going to get taken down during that Uber. So now they just need to deny the cart, and this might work out pretty well for Cat Noises if they can just keep their players alive at this point.
Yeah, Jarrett's trying to try not allow that to happen. He's putting some damage down onto them, but a good job of forcing him back out. Daffodil's chasing him all the way down to the tunnel, and he's probably going to trade his life for it as he does take down the demo man. But once again, you can see Jarrett got killed there, down for 6 seconds. Daffodil going down for 20. Again, this is the stuff that matters. It's the little moments that make the difference. As a sentry gun right next to the cart, I thought that was going to blow up there. As now Spamfest with a level 3 sentry gun is going to move it very aggressively, but it should be able to be taken out by Marmalou, as it is spotted. Spamfest probably is going to grab this back. No, actually, it's going to keep it up. But this is an engineer. I like this play. Spamfest, obviously, a top-class engineer, so I'm going to trust his instincts over mine because he is damn good. But we'll see what he wants to do as Vipa is getting himself into position. I think he wants to get a pick onto Andrew, and that's exactly what he's going to do, and that should open it up for DK.
Yeah, with Andrew going down, now DK had room to just use Uber over the cliff without fear. Nice shot by Boar to take out Daffodil. But they don't really get much off of the Uber besides the picks early. So now there's that gun in tunnel. It's going to get taken out. They've got control over the cart. DK does, that is. So it looks like Cat Noises, without the numbers, just kind of want to start backing things up to third. This is probably the right call. Spamfest, though, is still in behind, and that is not going to be good. I almost want to think maybe Spamfest comes up with Gunslinger or even switches off, because I don't think he's going to get a level 3 if DK want to start being aggressive here.
Yeah, level mini sentries can be good in a circumstance, just to kind of harass and annoy if you're going to keep on to the engineer class. Again, Spamfest is going to be switching off to soldier, as Daffodil is on to the pyro class. Daffodil was on spy for a little bit, but opting to play a little bit more. So we're going for all defensive classes, no spy plays right now. And we'll see if this is going to work out, but I don't think this is particularly a great pyro point. Like, yes, you can blow them off the edge, but you have to expose yourself very heavily to do that. As Percy is walking himself forward right now, going for a huge play. He's going to try to punch the enemy team. He's going to get a lot of damage on it. Jared, he's going for skates. What is happening right now? As Percy Percy is going absolutely huge, going straight into the enemy line, using the eviction notice, eating a sandwich. That's a victory sandwich right there. And he's going to give Cookie Jake a nice Uber advantage. Cookie Jake, though, is got Boar getting straight onto him. Carl's trying to push onto the backside, and Cookie Jake is going to get forced off there, going down incredibly low, but at least it's about even Uber advantage, only down about 20%. And with the respawns so slow for the red side, DK is trying to work off of it, and Shamu getting on the cart, getting it up over the cliff, as that's going to be Slemnish getting taken out there early on.
That is the greatest play of all time, I'd just like to say. Shamu's going to take 2 out for Cat Noises, so now they're in trouble as that cart moves ever closer. I think they probably need to back out unless Andrew can get some huge pick right now. Boar actually surfs back into the combo, maybe with a chance, but he's going to get taken out. And now I think this is the time for Cat Noises to back out. Vipa going in for the stab. He's going to get sniffed out there by Slemnish. I think they look like they want to try to deny this cart, but I don't know if that's going to be sustainable for very long if they decide to do that.
Yeah, I mean, they need to get him. I mean, they need to get more time on this point if they can
Percy!
help it.
Percy is just behind again. Takes out Skis, Jarrett, and afforded the rest of Cat Noises to just wipe DK.
Why do you need to have a spy class when you have Percy on heavy? Don't you know he's got the new invisibility cloak ability? I think you just push E like every 12 seconds for it. I'm not exactly how sure it works, but Percy, beautiful flank heavy. This is what I love, is when you see classes stepping up in their own individual ways, not playing a combo heavy, but going for his own plays. And now we can see the Pyro going onto Skis. Daffodil, again, I think he's just being a little bit too aggressive. That roamer style is just not working out for him. You have to be very conscious when you're on defense, when you try to make plays. Look at Shamu. He's just pushing the card up. They're using the supercharge to deny us, but this is exactly what Cat Noises was missing, and he just captures the cart. Nobody's paying attention to the objective, but I guarantee you if that was Cat Noises, Slemnish would have jumped off and tried to help out his team inside that fight. Cart presence is so important in this game mode, and DK understands it, and they just lost a fight, but won the point. Great job coming out of DK. 7 minutes on the clock.
That is a huge misplay by Cat Noises. They really, I mean, with the medic going down, they could have held that for another minute, maybe even 2, depending on how that went. So now they're going to be tasked with a 7-minute last hold. Entirely possible. I've seen much worse, so we'll have to see. Cat Noises still really have a long road ahead of them, though.
I mean, this is a place where maybe an engineer would be more useful. They don't have the Wrangler, they don't have the Rescue Ranger due to the bans coming out of DK. But still, like, a level 3 Cinch Gun can do work without those instruments, but Spamfest on the Soldier class, using the black box to his favor, and here comes out the Uber Charge. They're going to try to chase it down. They know that they have Uber advantage, and they're trying to find the enemy team, trying to get a kill onto Skis, but he is already back up to 100%, and they just lost Percy inside of that fight, as well as Uber advantage. And actually, Skis looks like he got forced off or something. I'm not exactly sure why he popped there. And it's going to even it out, but only 4 players alive here for the defense. And this is not looking good for Cat Noises right now. They do at least pick up a couple more as Spamfest, Andrew, and Slemnish taking down 3. And somehow they are turning this around in their favor.
Still, this is always difficult because if they start to feed players while defending the cart, they're just going to keep compounding the issue with respawns. It looks like Campy's up now. Slemnish is going to be just a few more seconds, so as long as they don't feed any more players, oh, never mind, because there goes Shamu getting the pick onto Cookie Jake. Might be able to get one onto Percy, but no, Percy is going to win that battle, so now with no medic, it's up to Cat Noise to figure out what to do. Spamfest goes for a nice long dive into the pit, and this is really starting to be kind of scary time for Cat Noises. Cookie Jake respawning right now, but huge advantage in the favor of DK.
Cat Noises has to be very careful. They don't overextend here. They need to play passive. Just take down everybody they can on the cart. Try not to take a death. Try to just spam them out as best you can. Try to take high ground. Spamfest is currently above the cart. You can spam down onto there as well as with this Demo Man. This might give them a chance, but the Uber Charge is just going to be barely in time to save Carl as he picks up 3 more frags as they're doing work. Camping in the upper area, getting spammed out there by Marmalou. He's going down incredibly low as Carl is trying to work himself inside of there. Marmalou as well as Jared onto the cart. Great presence, not enough, are going to be able to defend this. And there you go, DK takes the first round, and they are 1 round away from moving on to the grand finals against Froyotech.
Absolutely crazy round. I mean, the positive if you're Cat Noises is you actually did have a decent defense. I mean, what is that? About 9.5 minutes, I'd say. They held that, so not a bad defense. We saw shades of maybe even being able to take this round. So you really got to bring that momentum, that knowledge that, okay, look, we're not out of this. We know we can do this. You got to bring that into the next round. But yeah, let's take a look at these logs here real quick.
Yeah, and we can see here Slemnish stepping up for his team. I mean, Slemnish is doing a lot of damage. You know, I think this is it. If you want to have your scout be the person who is pushing forward with your team, then you need to get somebody else to be the dedicated cart pusher. You need someone who can do that, because Slemnish has top fragged pretty much all game. He's one of the best players in the server, but you have to understand what your role is. It's the same thing as like a soldier on defense. Frags are great, but your role is to stay alive and do damage. You have to understand these switches, and I think Daffodil tends to struggle with that. I think we're seeing Slemnish struggle with that when your roles aren't just be aggressive. And when they are being aggressive, they're doing fine if they can get that coordination together. The other kind of big players kind of stepping up here. I mean, honestly, again, but I think the biggest thing I would say is that we're seeing the classes be very close to each other. Like, this is not a super one-sided game if you really look at the frags.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a good point. I mean, I'm going to take a look that way. Yeah, it's really close in terms of frags and damage. Can't be out-damaging Jared, but Jared coming through with one more kill. I mean, it is really close. It's just DK's presence of mind and their knowledge of the game mode is really helping them. You know, Slemnish, you see, it looks like he got 16 of his frags on the defensive round. So on defense, he really did step up, and I think that's going to be important for them as they go into their next defensive round. But he'll have to be a little bit more timid about taking fights when they try to push and beat the time that they set on defense. Let's see. I want to take a look at the medic picks as well. Percy actually and Carl both get 2 medic frags, which is funny to see the heavies tying for the top of the list in terms of medic picks. Not what you're normally used to seeing.
Yeah, it's a little bit unusual. I mean, the big thing too is also both medics barely getting killed off there. You know, but the big thing is the flex class for the Cat Noises team, Spamfest or Percy, or however they're kind of playing it around. I mean, Percy's obviously stepping up, but Spamfest has been struggling this game. It kind of seems like whoever's not on a class they're super comfortable with is really the class that is struggling, basically. You can also see Carl doing work 2.5 KAD on heavy, doing a great job there with his team. But overall, I mean, I guess what would be the notes you'd be giving to Cat Noises that you'd like to see to go into this next half? What do they need to do to switch it up?
I would say almost everything they're doing is for the most part okay. I mean, they have the general knowledge, they have the potential in terms of frags and damage that they can put out. It's just got to be the wherewithal to pay attention to the objective. I mean, we saw it so many times on their offensive round as they failed to push third. But then, I mean, the biggest blunder, the big thing you can point out is the Uber push where they killed 5 people. So you had like 2 people alive on DK, yet DK still capped third point. So those are really the big things they need to pay attention to, because the other thing is you can't rely on Percy to go on 2 really big sprees and take out the enemy medic like they did last time. Hero plays aren't always repeatable, you know?
Yeah, we'll see what they can do. As you gotta imagine right now, there is some talk going on inside of the Cat Noises Discord as they have been just struggling this game. And so we'll see if they can turn it around here. As you said, they put up a respectable time, about like a 9-10 minute defense. Not bad at all. I mean, that's a very good time, and we'll see if they can repeat that success, as Cat Noises will be starting off on the defensive side in this second half. The one thing that's kind of interesting you're seeing inside of this Prolander format right now is that they're actually seeing a very heal heavies. You can see that Cookie Jake has healed Percy. 34% of his heals have gone to... So basically, we have Skis, who's got 27% of his heals going to Carl at the top, and Percy is getting 34% of the heals. Honestly, I think Percy is getting too many of the heals from Cookie Jake. Campy is really a clutch player, one of the best players on Cat Noises, and he's great at creating space for his team. I think they need to get him more heals to allow him to walk forward a little bit better, and we'll see if they can do that. But besides that, I mean, it'll be interesting to see kind of how they want to mix this up, what they want to do as they come to this next round. They're taking their time right now to talk it through, to figure it out. But what did you see out of DK? What was DK doing correctly there, Vox, that was allowing them to do so well on the defensive side?
I mean, pretty much everything from them was picture perfect. I'm thinking about, let's say, they had a great first hold, right? So everything was going well for them. They start backing up, but then, oh no, everything hits the fan, right? They lose their medic. They lose a couple of members. So they start backing up and backing up and backing up. And what do? They're like, okay, you know what? We're not going to overcommit for this point. Second, yeah, you can hold it, but it's not one of the big points. Third is where the money maker is. So they back out, they go to third. And look at that. They have a great hold there. So it's that kind of presence of mind, that knowledge, that's really helping them just outplay the Cat Noises team. So I'll be expecting more of that from them. And I mean, just one other quick note too, as you know, we're getting ready for the next round. I mean, their third hold, it's that risk reward. Hey, do we want to defend this point? Do we want to stay in there? And I think they made the right calls of when to stay in and deny. And they got another couple minutes off of their third hold because of that. So
yeah, it looks like we just had a small issue here as they're going to get themselves switched up onto the correct teams, as always when it comes to this fun times. So here we go. We're getting started up here into this next game. But here, one second. I just want to talk with my admin staff real quick to make sure that we have everything set up correctly for this next game. I think we do now. Okay. I think we should be good, as they are just getting started up here. It's just, we're doing a new format with the pick bands, making sure we get the correct stuff set up here. And let me just double check this real quick, Fox. As I mean, do you think, maybe let me just put this question to you. Do you think Cat Noises seems to be making the wrong class selections? Do you think they were making the wrong class selections in the last game, or were you kind of okay with what they were doing?
I was pretty okay. I mean, on product, they really had issues because there was virtually no class changing. They just switched players. So you had the same classes, it was just different players playing those classes. So on this one, you started with Spamfest on Engineer, and then they came to a point where they recognized, okay, Engineer's not going to work here. So what did they do on their great third hold? They really did have a great third hold. Spamfest was actually on Soldier for the bulk of that. So they utilized, they took that knowledge that they had from the first map, where they're like, okay, this isn't working too well. And they brought it to fruition, and it really worked out well for them. We saw Daffodil switching between Spy and Soldier when the situation dictated. I don't know, I'd have to double check. I don't know if we saw much Pyro play out of the team, but mostly, you know, when they're on defense, we saw switches between Soldier, Engineer, and Spy. Which is exactly what they needed, and I mean, it brought them to a decent time. Perhaps we'll need to see more of that on the offensive round. And I mean, DK really feel no pressure to switch around their classes because they probably feel pretty comfortable with what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we've seen is like DK, if you can throw them off, that's when they start to struggle. As soon as you can get them off their game. But I mean, that kind of seems like a lot of these teams right now is they're still getting used to the format. They don't really have dedicated flex classes. They don't really have players who are really can really kind of step up and do the different things they need to do. You know, Spamfest is a fantastic player overall with Engineer, but you know, if he's not playing Engineer on heavy, he does like a good job, you know, but he's not like a heavy main, you know, or anything like that. So I don't know. I guess we'll see what's going to happen here as we get readied up. Cat Noises now correctly on the red side. We're getting started up into this next round. And this is it. This is potentially it, as it's going to be DK going into this round. If DK wins this half, they will go into the grand finals, have a guaranteed winning amount of $800 in the grand finals against Voyotech next week. That's what this is all about. But it can continue on. Cat Noises still has a chance. If they can defend the next two rounds, if they can win those, they will put it into a decider map of Badwater. So we'll see what these teams want to do as the gates are going to go down in 30 seconds here. But I'm looking forward to it. And we can see, again, just looking at the class selections, Engineer coming out here early on. We see Spamfest doing the Eureka Effect rollout to get himself a little bit faster with all of the level 3 dispensers as well as the sentry guns out right away. And last time he did the cheeky spot on top of Playground, and it looks like he's going to be doing that technique again.
Yeah, he's going back to spawn yet again. I'm very nervous. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you can hear that if you're the offensive side. It's a little far away. But there could be a problem. They're actually already spamming out the gun. So Spamfest, he is back in time to make sure it stays up. Boar is going to be taking an aggressive position over by those stairs on the left side on DK. And he's going to take out Campy with it. And Andrew's going to go down to a bomb by Marmaloo. So Marm and Boar do go down. But these are big picks coming in for DK.
Yeah, this is looking good for them right now. We'll see what they want to do. Only 3 players alive, but they do have the sentry gun in position. But you know who's also been in position? That's the spy, Vipa. He's right behind the enemy medic. He's going to make a run for it, and he does it once again. Cookie Jake doing his best Harblue impression because he never turns around. He goes down one more time, and DK, they're going to be looking good. Spamfest is going to run himself out of there. Skis is going to get forced off. Slemnish does at least do that for his team, and that's going to at least give him a chance here to defend this next point and have basically even Ubers.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good job to make sure that Skis goes down. Bombing in over the top, actually, is Jarrett, and he gets in on Andrew. He might be able to take out the gun, and Spamfest, no, he's going to get traded out, but now Boar's in a position. Spamfest wants to get in as Vipa gets a stab onto Boar. Of course, Boar, never mind, he's going to get the headshot. And there goes the gun. There goes Spamfest. This is turning into a disaster for Cat Noises. They've already got to back off of second mostly, unless some big play right now happens. I think that's Daffodil over by Cliff, but I think this might be an order even too tall for him, and he is going to go down.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to be careful when you're pushing back out onto this point. You're pushing into high ground. You're pushing into a sniper sight line. Boar finally goes down. Slemnish with a nice flank play. It's 5v5 currently. And we'll see if the defense can try to make anything off this, but I doubt it, with Jarrett in very good position to cut off the enemy team. And you can already see Cat Noises backing off to the side. Jarrett walking forward, taking down Campy, but he's going to ultimately go down to Spamfest, but that's not that big a deal given that he's going to get back up real quickly here. Daffodil's going to go in alone and try to contest this cart on a Shamu, but the only thing that's going to get contested is whether or not he can keep his head, and he loses that one. As Boar with a nice snipe coming up over the hill, 100% in both medics' hands, but the cart is so far back. We'll see what they can do. 2 minutes and 17 seconds is a very solid time going through these first few points, and we'll see what they want to do. Slemnish, again, eating a lot of damage. Boar is going absolutely ham this game.
Yeah, it's really important for them as well, for DK as a team. Whenever he's on, they're on, and I mean, they're just completely going through. He's going to get that headshot onto Percy, but Daffodil going to go in and get a couple rockets on the Skis to take him out. He does go down for his troubles, but he got the big pick right there. Now Carl is going to be in the Sea House, going to get pushed right now by Slemnish and go down, but the cart creeps ever closer. I want to see them contest this. It goes up that first hill, and Shamu's going to back off before he goes down.
And Shamu played that perfectly. That's exactly what you need to do. Cat Noises ran everybody forward, but they didn't look at the cart. If anybody looked at them, they would have contested that cart before it got up over that hill, and they would have had a chance to stop that, make it just that much harder for DK. I mean, this is such an intense matchup. They're behind, and they need to make big plays to make this happen. Percy on the spy class is going to get caught up by Shamu. I'm not really sure why he was not cloaked in that moment, but he's going to go down. And we'll see if they can do anything, as Vipa is getting himself in a good position right now. He's going to start decloaking right behind Andrew, and he's been focusing down the sniper as he picks up one more frag. 3 players left alive for the defensive side, and they're only at 92%. Slemnish is trying to contest the card. Beautiful 1v1 as he takes down Carl onto the card. He's going for Jarrett, but ultimately gets taken down. He can't put the entire team on his back, but Campy is going to do anything to try to help out his team, but Shamu continues to capture this card. Campy is going to get the Uber popped off onto him, gets help to take down Jarrett, but that cart continues to roll forward. As much as DK is losing these fights, they're still winning the battles on the cart, and honestly, that's what matters. The objective is what wins the game.
Yeah, just incrementally, that cart is going just a little bit, and then just a little bit, and then just a little bit as Boar clicks another head. Campy goes down. I think this may be the push they're looking for. Andrew trying to sidle and maybe get like a quick peek. He's gonna actually take down Boar through the through someone else. And as that cart is gonna get capped up, just back up, please, please. You can't lose Cookie Jake. 5 health, and he goes down.
But they get the cart. And Cookie Jake, Daffodil running in here, gets Skis down to half HP. Not going to be enough. 4, 4, 4 for 3 points. Very solid time coming into this final point. We'll see what they can do, but honestly, they could easily put up something inside of the 5 minutes if they play this correctly. Have 100% Uber. Cookie Jake is completely disconnected from his entire team. He's not even healing right now. He's trying to figure out where he wants to go. He's running around with a chicken with his head cut off, but Daffodil is going to find Skis and should get the force off onto him, and that's exactly what happens. Down to 35 HP. Percy goes down, but currently no sniper for the offense, as one more is going to get picked up. Only 4 players left alive here for the defense. Spampets is going to get that level 2 sentry gun off, but it's getting spammed down so heavily by Jarrett, it easily gets taken out. He's going to try to build up a level 1 gun before he runs back to spawn. It's still only 3 alive here on the defensive side, and every single player on the offense is up. They're going to try to walk in this card. Slemnish is going to walk out here. They're going to try to throw everybody on it, but 5 minutes and 45 seconds, and DK is crushing it tonight.
And just a note, I mean, with the minute warm-up, we could have DK in the grand finals in just about, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. So we'll have to see. I mean, this is really tough for this is gonna be really tough if you're Cat Noise. There's one possibility they have, and this is gonna sound really crazy, all right? But maybe have Daffodil run Pain Train and have Slemnish be your damage presence, and put Daffodil on the cart instead of the scout. You still get the टिmes2. Right. But then, Slemnish, he really wants to frag, and they look like they really want him to frag. It could afford him some extra space. I don't know, a little crazy, but I think they need crazy right now.
They do, but the problem is that Daffodil and Slemnish are both the players who are just so used to being aggressive whenever they want to be aggressive. I don't think it's necessarily the wrong idea. It's like, okay, let's put Slemnish. He's the one who's doing a lot of forward ground. Let's put, Daffodil on the cart, but they have to make that decision. I think they're putting Spampfest on Spy, and I think they need to do that. They need to get big picks to help out their team to try to get this forward ground. They're not winning it off of pure DM. They're not winning it off of damage, so they need to try to do something else. And Carl doing a good job spamming randomly. Does see Spampfest, who's trying to get up that flank side, and he can't even get there. He's half HP while being cloaked. And Cat Noises, though, going out with an early Uber charge should be, but Vipa's getting himself into good position as he's right behind the enemy medic. Oh, Cookie Jake is barely able to dodge that. Percy goes down, Boar's sniping the cart, and the Uber charge comes out, but look at this, Skis, now he pops it, but honestly, he might have been able to hold on to it a little bit longer.
Yeah, and just unfortunate for Cookie Jake, he wanted to heal Campy, but got bounced back, so they're not going to get too much off of that Uber push. Boar's going to go down, so good pick by Andrew. That's what you need, so now with no Ubers in the way, there's no gun, of course, because there's no engineer being run by DK. This is the time. You get the spam. Andrew on a 3K as he takes down Jarrett. You just got to keep moving forward. Just inch by inch, you got this. Carl is going to drop over on the other side. He's going to get taken out. But they are going to cap up on this point. It's a decent start, but they cannot lay off the gas pedal.
Yeah, and that gas pedal means ×3 on the cart, or at the very least ×2. And Slemnish is dancing around the cart a lot. I don't know why he's not just standing on it. I mean, like, every second counts here, and him doing this, like, jumping stuff over the cart, like, it just lost them 2 seconds. Like, I don't quite follow. Or he's going forward in the tunnel. Like, again, it's like every moment matters right now. You're playing against a 4-minute time, and if you do that 5 times a match, look at this. Nobody's even touching the cart right now, and it's not even being contested. Jarrett finally getting pushed back here. He was putting down at least some stickies. They're trying to push out from the lower cart tunnel. It's a very, very difficult area to push out of, and they got denied completely. Pushing through a choke point is not generally a good idea, and Cat Noises just learned that lesson.
Yeah, this is not looking good. I mean, Boar's gonna get taken out. Daffodil bombing over over the top. He's gonna kind of back off here. So it's really gonna be up to Cat Noises to figure out what pick they can get. Percy's gonna get seen as well. They need a big pick. Boar seems to be that option, but Andrew is very sheepish on this hill. Takes out Carl. Skis is down as well from Daffodil with the late bomb. He re-aggressed and took him out. Boar's going to be on that respawn, but that cart is close, and they've got enough power presence that they should be able to take this.
Yeah, they did also. They have Shamu still behind the enemy lines right now, and he's looking to try to maybe contest card. Jared putting down some spam as well to hold it up, and Boar picks up one more. Boar has been doing such a good job of harassing the people on the cart. And again, look at this. No one's even by the cart. No one's even touching it. 2 minutes and 57 seconds left in the clock. And I mean, you cannot let this. You cannot let off the gas. And they're doing just that. Finally, they are going to come down with this cart. Board takes down one more, taking down Slemnish, who is standing on top, but now Campy jumps away. This cart's not even captured here. And finally, it will go down in the favor. But this third point was their Achilles heel last game. But Percy does pick up an early frag onto it, and finally they're getting back on the cart. No snipers, so they can walk down this cart path together if they wanted to, not having to worry about that sight line.
Yeah, one thing, it looks like Vipa has switched off over to Pyro, and not a bad, I'm going to interrupt myself, as the Uber gets used towards this main area, but it's completely denied, and that's exactly what I was going to say. I think Vipa is probably on Pyro just to deny, push people off of cart. You've got this big cliff right now that he can try to air blast people off of. Andrew's going for the peak. I think he hit a body shot onto Jared, but not able to convert the kill. Boar is going to go down, but that cart is still not being touched under 2 minutes, and it's nowhere close to being up all those different parts of the roller coaster.
Yeah, this is in the realm of possibility that you're not out of the game, as we are getting a pause, or is my internet down? Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's a pause.
Okay. Looks like it's going to be a pause. And you can see right now, this is a very good position coming out of cat noises. As there was a pause, Carl lagged out of the game, so he's and the pause happens 90 seconds in the future, of course, from where we currently are. But if you just look at this positioning, this is very good. They got a lot of people onto the cart. There's about 1:45 left on the clock. So, I mean, this is very possible for them to push it. I mean, the hardest part, again, is you make sure you need to have ×3 when you're going up the hill, because when you're going uphill, it reduces your pushing, I believe, by half. But as long as you can stop Jarrett from being able to spam down on the cart, Marmalou hasn't been doing a ton of black box, because that's what generally happens, inside of these games, is that, you have your soldier play by the cart, kind of push him back, do whatever he needs to do. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Carl also is legging out at the very last second of the game. That's going to have a chance on this cart, but I mean, early on here, just Cat Noises, again, just seems to be struggling to be able to find ground. And I'm really loving Shamu's play on Scout for DK. He's just being so creative. He's using the Sandman to his favor. I mean, not a lot of scouts are being using that, but he's playing he's kind of reminds me of Ruin back in the day, in the sense that he's getting aggressive at the right times and pulling back. That's what you want to see out of your scouts, is not just a W key scout. Damage is great, frags are great, but if you're not alive at the times that you need to be alive at, it doesn't really matter. And that's what I kind of feel like Cat Noise's weakness has been this game, is that that might be getting frags, they're not doing bad. You looked at the logs, you wouldn't say they're being crushed, but still, they're being crushed in these games. And it's because of when people are dying, what they're doing, and are they playing with the objective. And so as we're waiting Carl to get back into the server to finish off this round, I mean, I don't know. This is going to be... I think Cat Noises has a chance here. I think this will be a close one.
Yeah, they definitely have the ability. So Boar, of course, we don't know what the respawn timers are right now, but Boar is currently down, so... as long as they can keep a couple on cart, I think they'll probably have the Pyro and Engineer, and then Andrew can probably join when it starts to get up to the point that he can peek over the cliff. But I right now, I'm kind of in the boat that Slemnish probably needs to be putting damage forward. There's 100% Uber in the hands of DK. That's going to be a big problem for them. What I'm struggling to see is how Cat Noise is going to open this up. Are they going to be able to make a play where they force out the Uber from skis? Or are they just going to have to wait for their Uber, let's say 25 to 30 seconds in the future, and then try to push off of that when the cart is much closer? I mean, there's a lot of different ways they can take it at this point, but they are going to need to just only have ×3 on the cart, bring the rest of the people that you can forward, so that they can put some damage and maybe try to force off that Uber. But you run the risk of, Cookie Jake is going to die if we overcommit him. So there's just so many different ways this can go. It's a huge chess match, and we're kind of in a freeze time, trying to take a look. Oh, what's going through their brain right now? What move are they going to go?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they want to do this. And currently we're also seeing that Percy is now switched on to the Pyro class. Cat Noises has been trying to make Pyro work all game for them. I mean, this can be good, I guess, because the short circuit is banned, so Percy could be on the cart right now, denying Jarrett from being able to do anything, but he's going to go for the flank play rather than help deny the cart as Unpause is back on, but Skaze goes down. Andrew with a collateral.
What a huge pick. I was just talking about how are they going to take down Skis. That is just impossible luck as Andrew's going to take down Carl. This is now totally doable for them. There's going to be probably about a minute 10 as they get the cart capped up. Bora is still trying to make something happen. Andrew is all the way pushed into tiles. Maybe see if he can get a pick off the start, but he's got to be careful because he can go down right now. And it looks like he will. Marmalou and Shamu together, the Ooze? I don't know. I can't think of a cool name for them right off the top of the head, but they're going to take him out. But under a minute left, 100% Uber. They have advantage. Percy's trying to get something done, and Tiles might be able to get a frag. No. Going to go down.
He's going in, and the Uber charge is going in so early. It does take down the gun. This is where Carl got legged out, being pushed down into the pit. 41 seconds left on the clock. They got a lot of times on the cart, but they need to take down Jarrett, as well as a soldier who's jumping down on the cart. They never took control of tiles, and they're eating a lot of damage because of it. Finally, Andrew is up there. A level 2 sentry gun is into the upper corner. Viper doing a good job switching off for his team, and it's doing a good job, but oh no, Skis goes down again. Andrew getting a pick. 22 seconds left on the clock. Only 2 players left alive here for DK, but everybody is dying. Andrew's going to jump down on the cart, but he's going to get spammed out from the soldier. The black box doing work. Now here comes Slemnish. And he needs to get back on the cart. He needs to hold on to it. Get the other side, but Boar with a huge headshot, saving it for his team. Time and time again, 3 seconds. They're going to put everything they can do onto it, but no! DK will take this, going into the grand finals, going up against Froyotech, fighting it out for the $1.4 thousand on the line. GG's out there as Cat Noises put up a fight at the end, but it just wasn't their game tonight.
That is just absolutely insane. I can't believe that. I mean, just Andrew trying his best, tries to make something happen with that drop, and they get right there. It just goes to show, you have another 30 seconds on their defense, and they could have done that. There's these little moments that, you can replay in your head and think, damn, we should have done that. We should have done this. Oh, this was so close. If we had just, all those hypotheticals, but either way, I mean, well played, of course, out of DK taking it, but Cat Noises, they didn't give up, and there's a lot to be said. A lot of teams at this point could have been out of it, just shaking their head, wow, a 5.5 minute time, we're done, we're ruined, but they really, really pushed it until the end there.
And I mean, again, kind of to the point you're saying, it's like, how many times did I mention during they're like, oh, here's where they lost a couple seconds, here's where they lost a couple seconds, like, needlessly, and if Slemnish wasn't just dancing around on the cart when they're pushing through the second point, for instance, that would have been maybe like 5-10 seconds in the clock. Would they have won the game because of that? Obviously, the circumstances down the line would have been differently, but my point being is that every second counts on these objective maps, and you have to understand what your class role is, where you are, and making sure you focus the objective. This is an objective-based game mode. This is not a frag fest, and I feel like that's where Cat Noises lacked today, is they had the DM as bringing up the logs here. Slemnish top fragging once again for his team. He's doing work, but you know what? If Slemnish is going to go off, you need someone else to play that role, to get on that cart and make sure that it's pushing forward. Boar, though, I mean, Boar, 26 frags for his team. Andrew only with 17. When I saw Andrew going up against Corsa, I was like, who's going to beat Andrew? This man is insane. Boar, my God. Be in fear, Froyotech. Be in fear. This man has been in beast mode all game. And if he plays this like in the grand finals, this is going to be a tough match for Froyotech to win against this team of DK.
Yeah, so just see if there's anything else to glean from logs. I mean, Cookie Jake and Skis only died 4 for Cookie Jake, 5 for Skis, so they didn't go down too much. They each had a drop, and I mean, those heal rates are absolutely insane between the two. We see the medic picks, as I always like to look. Daffodil and Andrew each have 2. Vipa with 2 as well. And Andrew really with the big one for him there. And we saw Vipa's drop was right at the beginning of the defense for cat noises. So anything else to glean from these logs? But I mean, otherwise, Campy does so much damage, 613 DPM, but just not able to convert many of those to kills, and that's fine. I mean, your demo, you just want to put damage and have your scout and other players clean that up, but I mean, the logs do not even begin to tell the tale of what we witnessed.
Yeah, one interesting stat line I think I just want to toss in here is that despite Boar winning the battle when it comes to snipes, or it looks like, oh, I was looking at the last logs. That's why. I'm crazy. Yada, yada, yada. Andrew, yeah, so Andrew actually outsniped Boar 5-2. So Andrew doing a really good job for his team there, as Boar was the one who ended up top fragging inside of that game, and very worthwhile, as he was doing absolute work. My bad for looking at the first game logs.
You know what? No, there's no apology to be made, sigafoo. That's it. You're cut.
Cannot take that back.
You're cut.
Cut from my own league. This is.
You saw it here first, folks.
Goodness. Well, I'm looking forward to next week. We don't have the date in which it will be happening because teams have to decide when they are available to make the plays. Congratulations once again to DK for taking this in a clean sweep. 2 rounds back to back. Was it 3-1 on Viaduct and then a 2-0 game on Upward? Just fantastic play all around. Great job by them. And I cannot wait to see what crazy matchup we're going to have against Freyotech, as it'll be actually a rematch, as DK played against Freyotech inside of the Challenge Cup, of all things. So, guys, thank you so much out here. VoxDei, any quick shouts you want to give before we shut this off?
Well, you know, just a big thank you to the teams. You know, they really gave us a show tonight, and big shout out to Nysel behind the scenes doing camera, and thanks again for letting me cast. Always an enjoyable experience.
Yeah, thank you again, Nysel. Thank you to Witness and Yachts as well, my staff behind the scenes helping me out today. And thank you to all you guys. Thank you, everybody, for showing up here tonight. Again, don't forget to follow this channel. Next week, rgl.gg, or follow me on Twitch, twitter.com/sigafoo, @sigafoo. That's probably the better way to say it. You can follow me on there to get updates, or join our Pug channel, guys. That's a great way. If you want to try out this format, you definitely can, rgl.gg/pugs. Join our Discord channel, and we host Pugs multiple times a week. And if you've ever been curious to get into competitive or try out this game mode, you can absolutely do it. It's open to all skill levels. So thank you guys, everybody, for joining me out here tonight. I hope you have a great rest of your night.